we're talking about illegal immigration, and Ozpil, not less than an hour ago, who I was speaking with earlier today, is at this illegal immigration protest, and there are communists here threatening to beat him up.
Right.
This is happening now. This is not a foreign, distant kind of thing. This is a conflict.
Yeah, let me give it a play, Rami.
I'll beat you up.
I'll beat you up.
I'm out of the way. I'm on the side.
No, you're not allowed to come here. You're not allowed to come here. Just leave. Yeah? Stop filming. Stop fucking filming.
I'm leaving, bro. I'm walking away.
Get them out. Yep. Get them out. These guys don't belong here, honestly. And they're using Antifa tactics, aren't they, Chris? Were they? With their umbrellas? Are they
coordinated by socialist alternative white leftists?
That's right. If you look at the
what was that?
These are the protests outside in Melbourne and Sydney. You have 24/7 camps outside Tony Burke's office, and in Melbourne, I don't know who the MP is, of immigrants who have overstayed their visa, who are demanding permanent visas, not temporary, permanent visas,
right,
for all.
Yeah,
for everyone.
And if you pay close attention on many of the mics, not on this particular one, the blower that he's got there, in other videos, if you go to Ozpil, he's got these mics, and they've actually got the solidarity, the Aboriginal flag. They've got the Free Palestine stickers. What else have they got on these things, Chris?
Socialist alternative.
Socialist alternative, and it's like
hijacked all these identities.
Yeah, exactly.
Hijack of compassion.
If that was the UAE, they'll throw them in a container and just throw them in the desert.
There you go. Effective.
It's effective.
Just fang it.
Yeah. Well, as Kamala Harris would say, it's time for us to do what we have been doing.
Yes.
And that time is every day.
Amen. And also, in order to what's that quote she says, Chris? In order to
go forward.
In order to realize
what can be unburdened from what has been.
Yes. Anyway, guys, I've had a really good time doing this. This somewhat felt like directionless, but I also feel like it actually has given me a lot of food for thought, because I think we've delved into a lot of things here where it's like, I didn't think of that, I didn't think of this, and I want to continue this series on this topic another time with an interesting set of panelists as well, like you guys, to delve into this. Like, what is it that makes Australia uniquely Australian? Why is it that when we hear a story about an Aussie in Germany doing a classic Aussie thing, what is it that we know that that's him? And that's what's at the back of my head, because I feel like, as I said to start this off, I feel like if we don't work this out, then it will be defined for us and answered for us, and the elites in Canberra will say it's un-Australian to not vote yes to the voice.
It's a very important question to figure out what it is that succeeds. I'm a big fan of experimentation. It's a very complex world. There are lots of different political systems out there, cultures, looking around and trying to figure out what actually is working, what is functioning, what gives you a cohesive society, what gives you destabilization. There's an old book, Wealth and Poverty of Nations by David Landis, who discusses, well, why have some countries succeeded and others haven't? Why is the English Enlightenment and the Industrial Revolution, why did it happen in the UK? Jared Diamond's book, The Guns, Germs, and Steel. How come, we're hunter-gatherers and you have airplanes? How does that happen? Kind of getting back to, and sometimes you have countries, you have natural experiments. North Korea, very different than South Korea. Same culture, same latitude. You look at, you've seen those pictures of North Korea at night, which has basically got no lights, and South Korea is lit up like a Christmas tree. And so if we can, try to dig into what succeeds and what doesn't, and also how cultures end up collapsing and committing basically cultural suicide because they don't know who they are and what actually, and value what it is that works. That's
absolutely
that question.
Gentlemen, did you have any final additions before I wrap us up?
Just I think you've got to come back to the values of peace, prosperity, freedom, and we've got to work towards those values. I think that's one way of just simply defining it. And let's evolve. Let's make Australia a great country based on some core principles that all of us can agree on and adhere to. But we have to have some principles. We can't go on with this kind of moral relativism, this endless sort of, everything's equal, all cultures are the same, blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, even within our religions, there are differences, and within our nationalities, there are differences, and we've got to work out, well, what do we stand for as Australians? And to do that, first thing you got to be able to do is have a conversation like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
God
And
forbid.
the first thing we've got to do is stop shutting down conversations.
Definitely.
Stop keeping people like Candace Owen out of the country.
Yep.
And I'm really disappointed. I mean, I was very pro-Israel on my show for a long time, and I'm really disappointed that, with the Jewish community have the left Jewish community have been so wanting to just shut the conversation down. And Candace made a really good point in the interview that we did, that this is not serving anybody's interests. This is a stupid, dumb move on their part. Yeah. Because if you want to enhance conspiracy theories, that there's some Jewish conspiracy and cabal around the world, you act like that. Yeah. And then people are going to, the real neo-Nazis are going to go, see, I told you. And then it becomes very hard for sensible people like us to say, yeah, you're a neo-Nazi. Don't stop being a neo-Nazi. Because, they did that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, exactly.
Absolutely crazy. She's scary, man. She's so scary. I was so scared this morning.
Oh, you?
Talking to her. I hope they keep her out of the country. I'm terrified.
So I'm against that.
But you know what else?
Islamophobia. That same Islamophobia tactic. I'm against that victim mindset.
Yeah.
Everything deserves criticism. Everything. And I believe in my religion. The truth will come out. I'm a very peaceful person. I want to be an Australian. I want to follow the laws of the country, and I want to contribute, because I think when you ask what it is to be an Australian, when I go out there, I think we're known for ingenuity as well, and engineering, and we have proper ways of going about things, and we want to maintain that. So
we used to be get stuff done nation, right?
It used to be, but we got to bring that back. Make manufacturing great again, and
I'm in.
Yeah.
Look, the big disappointment out of the whole Candace thing is, and maybe I shouldn't be disappointed. It's the reason I built the Ark in the first place, is because Sky News once again let us down, just as they did in COVID. They censored the most successful broadcaster in Australia, Alan Jones. They took him off because of Craig Kelly segments.
Yep.
They allowed Craig Kelly to be removed from Parliament from the Liberal Party, and on top of that, he was forced out. They say he resigned. He was forced out. And then on top of that, once he left the safety of his Liberal Party, 2 months later, Facebook removes him and Instagram removes him, despite there being no violations on Instagram. And it's just and Linktree also removed him, which is why I never trust Linktree. And so I see these things going on, and then it's okay. Oh, that's fine, guys. That we were right. Sky News, yep, no worries. Bring them all back on. You're fine now. And then they go and do this crap and say, oh yeah, we believe in the battle of ideas. And then they leave Candace out.
Yep.
They keep her out. Send the black woman to the back of the bus. It's just I believe that.
Well said.
Seriously, and I believe Tucker Carlson probably does have the same views as Candace on Israel-Palestine, but they allowed him in. They didn't police it. Now, Candace isn't inciting violence, and Candace isn't doxing people. Therefore, why... She doesn't even have a criminal record. Why are we leaving her out? And it's just the best disinfectant for bad ideas is more speech.
Exactly.
And if you're not prepared to do that, then you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy. And that's why I built the studio. That's why I built the Ark. It's because it's a story that Jews, Christians, and Muslims are meant to respect. It's a story that the Abrahamic religions can respect, and they can get us focused back on the bloody rainbow people that stole. That's where we got the rainbow from. It's from the freaking story of Noah and the Ark. But the people, apparently, we've forgotten. We didn't even remember that. We've totally forgotten that. And so when I see what's going on with the Candace ordeal, when I see what's going on with this stuff, I do get fired up about it, and I do get quite upset because they're attacking the values that made Australia great. Chris, did you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I actually listened to ADHTV for a change. Not a lot to watch. You used to be on there. Chris Smith interviewed Candace on there. She was meant to be on Sky News. Is
that right?
They dumped her, but because of time. But they did have time for a 18-minute segment blasting Candace Owens. Mr. Bort seemed to have time for that.
Actually, you'll get Candace an hour earlier on the other side.
Right there.
No offense, Chris, but not to Chris Smith,
Right.
but I'm looking forward to watching Chris's interview as well. But I mean, it's she has to do this. She's doing our media because she can't can't get a. She's being cancelled. I think she said the Today Show cancelled her, right? I mean, it's like,
Sky
sorry.
News. Sky News cancelled.
Well, that was sad for me. Yeah, because I quite like Sky News.
Me too. Yeah, me too. And that's what's shocking about all of this. The Today Show, as you were alluding to, so you talked about this in your interview. The Today Show had her booked, and they similarly said, we're overscheduled. I don't know what the F that means. It's like, how do you overschedule? And then, like, you just add another seat.
You can overschedule, but Candace Owens, you move stuff around.
Oh, literally. And then the idea that you then used the segment, that time that you'd booked, to attack her without the right of reply. It's like, what the hell? And you know what's going to be really awkward about this? This whole, Tony Burke, if he does do something stupid, we might be in a situation where we're getting out free speeched by New Zealand because she ends up getting the visa there. Because we'll probably get that before Australia makes a decision.
No. Protest at Tony Burke's office tomorrow at 1 p.m. The refugees are mad, so I'll be there. So if you want to protest Tony Burke, it might be a good time. You can join in.
Mate, the only time you find me protesting is when it's illegal to protest.
Yeah.
That's when you should. That's why there's no more freedom protests anymore.
How would a Candace Owens protest? Would that be legal?
I reckon it's worth telling them to there's those immigrants to do that. That's the one useful thing they could do. But I think what they're demanding is completely out of order, to be honest. But anyway, going back to it, guys, I really appreciate you joining me on here. I think that this has been a thoroughly enjoyable discussion for me that's sorely needed, and that's why the Ark exists. But if you guys want to follow these fine gentlemen, I will have their links in the description to their phenomenal podcasts. Chris has my respect with regards to journalism. You ask the right questions on the ground, and I love how you drawed a call for incitement to the farmers from what was his name? Plimer. Mr. Plimer saying don't send the food to the cities. I was just like, whoa, that is some Canberra protest talk right there. But he was making the point that if you're not being treated respectfully, so you need to make them realise that you're going to go hungry. You need us. And Moe, thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming on. I really appreciate it. I want to get you back soon to do a deeper dive into the.
We've got a country to save. That's why I'm here. I just have a ladder. I push cable for a living. Turn a screwdriver. I shouldn't be here, but I'm only here just because I want to save this country.
Amen.
I don't want to do this, but I've been pushed to it.
No, God bless you, man. And like us, you don't want these Muslim girls in these schools having transgender kids come in.
Oh, definitely.
And the girls can't take their hijab off because and I totally get that. And guys, you can follow Paul. You don't have social media.
Working on it. Yep, getting there.
Right. Well, let's get you on X soon, and then I can push everyone there. And Damien Curry, I really want to thank you for coming on. You've flown in from Queensland, not just for this, but you've got the event tomorrow, the conference for Battalion Art.
Yeah.
And everyone can follow you on the Other Side podcast. But
on YouTube at the Other Side. At Other Side Oz AUS, and X is the same. Yeah,
absolutely. These gentlemen are are with me all the time here. But if you, next time you're around, I'd love to have you on. And mate, you do really well in person. You do really well in person. I really think you got to do. No, honestly, I think you should do more in person. Stuff. I think your audience would love that. I really do.
Happy to, mate. And congratulations on the Ark too. I think it's a great concept. And this studio, I've got serious studio envy. We've got a great studio up at Trending Media Australia. I've got to say big plug for the guys. But no, this is a great setup you got here. Next time I want some brown liquid in here. I noticed that you had brown liquid.
No, look, absolutely. Look,
is it real or fake?
I don't know. It
is Friday night. Sorry, Mo.
It is look, after I switched, look, we did just have a highly contentious discussion. I thought, what, just for this one, we'll leave the brown liquor down. I can handle it. But I do have some in the corner for us. Maybe we'll have some of Pauline Hanson's gin. I don't know. But thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to doing part 2 of this discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to subscribe and like the podcast here. Please consider becoming a donor because we are getting demonetized everywhere, but that's okay. And good news, just this last week, I did say to you we reached 900,000 viewers in a week. We've just cracked a little over 1 million views, and that's thanks to you guys sharing this around. Despite the censorship, despite the bastards in California censoring us, a third of our views are coming from uncensorable platforms. And thanks to you guys sharing it out there, it's kicking off very, very well. So thank you so much. God bless you all. I'm here at your disposal, and very soon I will be telling you about how you can fight back in the local elections in New South Wales and Victoria, and also the state election in October. So I will see you guys soon. God bless you. Thank you so much. And this was episode 13 of the Ark Podcast. Bye-bye.